Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today we continue with the most elaborate April Fool's joke ever, only kidding, with part 3 of our new Lego room updates. So let's go straight away to the old garage. Well, alright, here is building update number 3, and it may look quite similar on first glance, though we've got loads of bits of stuff all over the place, but we have a door. Thankfully, they still make the ones that are throughout the rest of our house, so yeah, I've got myself one of those. But where's it going to go? Dun, 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 into the new doorway, which is currently being held up by a great big support jack type thing, and that you can see on the back there is the plasterboard of the rest of the house. So you've actually gone through a double skinned wall with a cavity in between which had insulation in and stuff, so that's all been removed and made a right mess and a great big stack of bricks up here. So yeah, it's quite hard to show you because we're still in a very echoey space. Still with light only coming from the sunlight via the doorway at the moment. But yeah, I think you can imagine how we're going to get in with that new lintel above both of the courses of bricks there. So yeah, everything is ready to go with further progress in the next week. Now this plug socket that's just hanging in that spot is a legacy one. That will get capped off safely and will not feature. This wire just hanging out of the wall is going to be the new light switch, which will be mounted kind of on what will be the side wall in the middle of this doorway. So as soon as you come in, you can flip one or both of the switches for the main general lighting or the filming lighting as well if you want. So yeah, that's all going to be great. So we've got both doors up in this corner, which means I've got this great big stretch of wall here for desks and storage and stuff like that for filming. And as I said last time, basically I've got a huge amount of base plates to fill everywhere from this corner up to underneath the overhang, and then all the way back to where I'm standing and back to that corner, which is going to be an absolutely vast space. So yeah, bringing all of these bricks out was a very, very noisy week indeed. I had headaches. So I can't imagine having done it myself. But anyway, that is really good progress. And wow, I suppose by the end of next week, we may have a door in this doorway, which would be rather amazing. And then we can finish the plasterwork on this final wall, get the second fix for the lighting into the ceiling. Well, it's already there, just to reveal it and get the actual lights wired in. And yeah, then we could even start with decor. Yeah, I'm probably getting ahead of myself. Oh, we need to put the door back on here and raise the door frame there. Yeah, so there's lots of work to do, but at least we can see some visual progress. Wonderful. Well, whilst the builders have been getting on with all of their hard and noisy work, I've also been making progress as well. Me and Mrs. Hood went carpet shopping and have ordered a new carpet for that room. They haven't got the exact dimensions obviously yet, but maybe it's a bit early, but we've definitely made a choice. And we went for a very dark colour, a kind of a grey, I suppose, mainly so it kind of blend into the background, and all of the black table legs and the standing holes would sort of drift into the background, so all the Lego would just pop out and stand out, and we wouldn't have anything we didn't want to show up showing up. So that is the theory there. We've also been getting on with the paint, or at least I have, by using our 3 testers that I showed you last time on basically a big white board that I had spare, a sort of offcut I suppose, and it's big enough to put all 3 side by side, so it worked quite well. Now that was a piece of wood rather than a piece of plaster, so I gave it 3 kind of thick undercoats of white, which obviously will be underneath the wall paint as well, so it was really a fair comparison, and we will be looking at those in filming conditions side by side in a minute, to make a more educated choice, because I suppose what we've got to do in deciding the blue is have a compromise between having it looking really nice under filming conditions where a light blue might not show up so well, and real life where anything darker than, say, this shade might be a bit offensive when it is filling such a large room, and I don't want to feel scared to go in there because of the oppressive walls. So that is my thinking there. So I'm going to basically bring that board up to the current Lego room and kind of look at it there, because we're going to have the exact same lighting in the new room, and it'll be a really fair comparison. We can put the board behind some buildings and see how it looks. Anyway, last time I had lots of different questions asking about the backdrop, amongst other things. One a lot of people were talking about thing was clouds and how I was going to do that. Maybe grading blues so it sort of got darker or lighter as we got higher. I think it's darker as we get higher. Well, I didn't really want to do that because I'm going to still do the ceiling white, and that's partially so I can stick all of my hooks and sticky pads and everything else and have space being the ceiling still. And I'm definitely not painting it black to represent space, because that would really be quite enclosing. So yeah, we're gonna have a white ceiling and a single blue on the walls, also partially because I don't think I'm going to be doing the painting myself. I've got my own work to do, so I think I'm going to get the builder to do the paint job, and getting him to grade it will be probably a bit of a task. So yeah, a single blue yet to be confirmed. And I thought with clouds, rather than sort of doing a sort of sponge dabbing white and try and get all artistic about it, which might look a bit weird, I don't know, I kind of like the Toy Town look, because I like my Lego City to look like a Lego City, not to look like a real life scene. So what I thought I might do is actually do some brick built clouds instead of painting them on the walls, and then I can kind of stick my brick built clouds onto the walls using kind of sticky pads and even move them around and so on. So I kind of did a very, very quick rough mock-up in studio, just with some of those cloud pieces that came out, first of all, I think with the Unikitty series of minifigures, and yeah, just in different combinations. I'll probably do some much bigger clouds than just these ones, but yeah, it's just to give an idea of how it might look. And it looks a bit kind of, I don't know, Super Mario Worldy, you know, you've got very kind of cartoonish clouds in occasional spaces, but I think that'll be quite good actually. So I'm definitely going to try it on design digitally and then buy enough pieces to give it a proper trial when we've got the actual blue on the walls and see how it looks. But that's what my thinking is at the moment. So yeah, I think that'll look good. And if we get the right blue, they should really pop against it, that bright white, as the, you know, the sort of difference is here with my splodges that I put on the tops here. The other thing is that's come up a lot is talking about a backdrop. And basically this I think of as kind of a skyline or a profile of buildings in the distance that are done in a much more sort of darker, shadowy, kind of moody blue along the horizon. And that would kind of represent all the distant buildings of the rest of the ongoing city. Now, there are a couple of problems with that. I don't know exactly where I'm going to have my buildings and where I'm not, and where I'm going to have, say, the farm. And we wouldn't want maybe the backdrop to be like that behind certain areas of the city, or behind the harbour, or having skyscrapers behind it wouldn't make much sense. So I'm not entirely certain on that. I think it could look good. I mean, this is kind of what Lego does on all of their box art, of course, for all the city sets. And you can see sometimes they do one in the foreground, which has got quite a lot of detail to it. I'm definitely not doing that because I'm not artistic enough with a paintbrush. But I kind of like the more generic ones where it's just blocks of shape in that darker colour of blue. So I could do that, but it might be that I'm doing it later. And maybe if I just do a sort of whole wall, I can kind of pull out the tables just far enough to get the height right, because we need to know kind of the bottom and how high we need to go as well. So that is my thinking with that. But again, I'm not sure if I trust my painting skills. But Mrs. Hood said quite cleverly, I think, let's see how the blue looks first. So that's a very sensible view. So I'm definitely not going to make a decision on that until we've got the blue going. So, right, what else have I got to tell you? Nothing much today. So let's go up to the current Lego room and check out these blues on my board for that contrast. So remember, we're looking for a compromise between good on film and not too hard to live with in real life. Let's go. So into Brick Nottingham and the Lego room's bright filming lights to do our colour test. And here is my board leaning up against the wall with all three of those tester pots side by side. And I think the first thing to say is that all three look rather fantastic as an improvement to the current sort of boring old magnolia walls of the Robin Hood household. So that is going to be a real benefit to the new city. And the second thing that sort of comes out immediately, both to me and Mrs. Hood, was how kind of blur the sort of middle blue is. It's just kind of a bit pastely and kind of a bit grey. I mean, it's not a very bright day. So yeah, I really don't like that, either under filming conditions or in real life. And I think a whole room of it would be absolutely terrible. So that one is an early, easy decision. That is out. So really, we're just deciding between this sort of lighter, more aqua-y blue and this slightly darker light blue that's kind of a bit more azure-y. So yeah, I kind of like both of them. But the thing that is true under filming conditions that you wouldn't necessarily notice just looking at the paint is that when you're very close up on this one, it does almost tend to white. It's very hard to see that it is actually blue. So yeah, that's a real problem for filming. Whereas this one is much more characteristic of a bright sunny day and looks rather lovely. If I try and sort of clip the frame so it's virtually filled with the sky, that looks really nice, doesn't it? And it really shows up all of the pieces in front of it, makes them really pop. So yeah, I think the filming test has been a great suggestion of a lot of you. Do it under proper conditions with proper undercoating and so on, because it really does make a difference. Just from the pots, I probably would have gone for this middle horrible blue. And then just looking at the paint in isolation on the board in just a normal lighting conditions, I probably would have gone with a lighter one because I think it's a nice bright airy colour. But yes, it's actually the third one that is best of all, and I think the one that we really have to go for. I mean, imagine the whole room with that as walls. And I think as well, if we get some white, let's just borrow this limousine, the clouds will really pop against this blue as well. Get the right blue, there we go. Yeah, I think they'll really show up, whereas you can see there, it's not as big a contrast. So yeah, I think that is going to make a great difference. So yeah, the test has been really successful. It's a slightly different answer than I thought it would be, but I'm very happy with the choice now. I think it's going to look smashing. Well, it's sad that the cheapest colour of all to buy was the most blur, but anyway, that's definitely out. And yeah, I think it's no contrast. The light one is also out. So the winner is the Valspar, where's the name of it? Breezy Street. Good name. I like it. So that's what I'm going with for the city. I think anything darker than this, as I said, will be a bit too much. So yeah, we have our colour chosen and Robin's got it on his roller and he's ready to roll. So very good indeed. So as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more updates and awesome build videos to come. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, I think we'll be having a brick haul on Wednesday on the sister channel, Brick Haul O'Clock. And then hopefully I'll have time again this Friday for another build. It really does depend on the noise levels and my work levels. So we will see while all of this stuff is going on. We'll be putting in the door this week. I think it's going to be quite messy, I think. Anyway, whatever we get up to, I'm sure we'll have great fun. So until then, see you! Yeah, be sure to get some really good coverage, Robin.